northwards to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, Democrats have pushed through a nearly $10 billion two-year state budget. Plus, a Waterville man will plead guilty for conspiring to provide materials in support of terrorists. And we'll hear from Bangor Area Recovery Centers about an overdose reversal drug. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith and thank you for tuning in this morning and happy Friday. Let's start the day off with a first check of that forecast. Devin Bakes joins us now.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. All right, let's get into things. The last of a gale warning here will be dropping at around 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. I'm watching that gale watch right there, too. That could get expanded further off towards the north and east, but for now, it's not being expanded just yet. That further down toward the south by Boston is up until about 10 a.m. as we head towards your Sunday. For now, though, we're looking rather quiet out there. The only idea that we'll be seeing today is increasing clouds as we'll be watching for another system that will begin to move in from the west going toward the east. And we're seeing all the excitement right about in here. This will track off towards the east over time, and this will give us the opportunity for some more rain and snow that will be on the way soon. We have a little bit of snow on the way later on tonight. So increasing clouds today, some snow on the way later on tonight. Could be seeing about an inch or two before we're all finished up there, before it starts to switch over to rain as we head towards your Saturday. Alrighty, as for the wind, nothing too ridiculous now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, but it will start to increase, especially as we head towards your Saturday, maybe up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour in a few spots. So for today, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-40s, now west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. Democrats pushed through a $9.8 billion two-year state budget that ensures there will be no government shutdown, but sparked controversy with how they did it. An emotional debate preceded the approval of the budget in the House on a 79 to 61 partisan vote following a breakdown of budget negotiations. The Senate also gave initial approval on a 22 to 11 vote. The strategy of adopting a basic budget on a simple majority vote early in the legislative session prevents Republicans from using a state government shutdown as an 11th hour negotiating tactic. Democrats said approval of a bare-bones budget with no new programs preserves Republicans' negotiating clout for additional spending proposals to be considered later in what Dems say would be Part 2 of the budget. Republican leaders expressed major upset at the pushed-through vote.
Reducing income taxes for lower and middle-income people is a modest and reasonable price to generate a bipartisan budget.
There is still time for this ship to change course. There is still time for Janet to do the right thing. There is still time for Troy to do the right thing. We can do better, we should do better, and hopefully we will do better.
The Democratic maneuver required lawmakers to adjourn after the budget was adopted to ensure it goes into effect on July 1st, the start of the new fiscal year. Then lawmakers will have to reconvene to deal with hundreds of pending bills, as well as a supplemental budget with any new spending initiatives. Democrats and their allies said the early vote ensures that government operations will continue and provides an opportunity for both parties to work on a supplemental budget to address extra proposals later. Democratic Representative Melanie Sachs, who co-chairs the Appropriations Committee, said earlier this week they are trying to pass already promised tax relief measures and funding for basic services first and would consider the new proposal for the budget's Part 2. All right, moving on now. A 19-year-old Waterville man will plead guilty to conspiring to provide materials to support terrorists after reaching a plea agreement with prosecutors. Court records show Xavier Pelkey allegedly conspired with others to conduct a violent attack on a Shia mosque in the Chicago area. He also accused of processing 3 homemade explosive devices that were not registered to him. Pelkey faces up to 15 years in prison on the material support charge. He also faces a maximum fine of $250,000 and lifetime supervision upon release. As part of the plea agreement, prosecutors are dropping the possession of homemade explosive device charge. Schools in Skowhegan were closed yesterday after a picture surfaced on social media that Skowhegan police say posed an indirect threat of harm at MSAD 54 schools. According to Skowhegan police, there was a picture depicting an individual holding a firearm. The police department has been in contact with the schools since last night and early this morning. The decision was made to close school for yesterday. Chief Bucknam says that as of early yesterday afternoon, the individual involved has taken the initiative to reach out to the police department and will be meeting with detectives regarding the photo. All right, in other news now, the Maine American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, or AFL-CIO, held a press conference highlighting key worker issues. More than 200 workers stood on the steps inside the Hall of Flags as union members spoke on issues working people are facing. The organization and union workers urged legislators to pass bills that would limit employers from imposing mandatory overtime on mill workers and prohibit employers from forcing employees to attend anti-union meetings. They are also asking to improve patient safety in hospitals, close the state pay gap, and strengthen apprenticeship standards in construction. The conference was part of Maine AFL-CIO's annual Labor Lobby Day. The Maine State Chamber of Commerce held its annual business day at the State House inside the Hall of Flags Thursday morning. Our Matthew Juronsik has the story.
It's an opportunity for us to invite Maine businesses, our members, to come to Augusta and meet and connect with legislators and talk about what's important to them as they run their businesses.
Business leaders from Hannaford Supermarkets, Northern Light Health, and Jackson Laboratory were among those who attended the Maine State Chamber of Commerce's business day at the State House. Opening remarks were given by Maine Chamber of Commerce President Julia Muncy in legislative leadership, highlighting the importance of Maine's businesses.
As I like to say, Maine people are the heart and soul of the state, but Maine businesses are its lifeblood.
Attendees had the opportunity to showcase their businesses on the big stage, with many offering merchandise and demonstrations. Muncy says the event helps strengthen the bond between businesses and policymakers.
It's really about making those connections and for people to have an opportunity to meet one another and to get to know one another and to have those conversations about what's important to each other and to understand each other's perspectives.
Versant Power's lead communications specialist Marissa Miner shared what she learned from talking to legislators.
A lot of people in the southern part of the state aren't even familiar with Versant Power, so we're sharing our service territory and some of the projects that we'll be doing this year.
Poland Spring Community Relations Manager Heather Printup says she enjoys the connections made every year through this event.
We love this day in particular because we are surrounded by so many other great Maine brands, and it's really an opportunity not only for us to engage with the legislators, but us to be able to engage with other businesses as well.
In Augusta, Matthew Juronsik reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
The FDA has made a life-saving overdose reversal drug more widely available than ever before. Our David Ledford spoke with Bangor Area Recovery Centers about what that could mean for the community.
I think it's a great idea. I think it should have been done a long time ago.
Narcan, a nasal spray that reverses drug overdoses, can now be sold over the counter. The product is the brand name version of the drug naloxone. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the spray Wednesday, marking the first naloxone product greenlit for use without a prescription. Maine Addiction Recovery Center representatives say that the change is vital for the state.
Naloxone is needed everywhere, and I believe that whether people think that there is a problem out there in our community or not, like there is. I know plenty of people, especially people close to me, who wouldn't be here today and wouldn't be accessing recovery if it wasn't for naloxone.
According to the FDA, there were more than 100,000 reported fatal overdose deaths nationwide in the 12 months leading up to October 2022, primarily driven by synthetic opioids like fentanyl. Some say they hope the change will stop people from driving for hours to get the help they need.
I think it's great, especially those in rural areas that can't get, to centers or to places or even to their doctors to get it.
For others, increasing the availability of the drug is a step towards understanding.
Any reduction in stigma that, results from things being more widely available and more talked about is always a good thing. We want people to know that naloxone is effective and that it's safe and that it's important.
According to the FDA, the approval of the medication will require a change in labeling for generic naloxone nasal sprays. The timeline of availability in stores will be determined by Narcan manufacturer Emergent Biosolutions, which the FDA says may take months. The over-the-counter price for Narcan has yet to be determined. In Bangor, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time is now 6:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a decades-old, professionally trained search and rescue team has been forced to disband. We'll have the details of that and more as Good Morning Maine continues. But first, let's take another look at that forecast. Increasing clouds as the day goes on today, high of around 45 degrees. Although tonight is going to drop to about 33, we may even see 1 to 2 inches of snow. Tomorrow, a wintry mix to rain because the highs will be almost 51 degrees. We'll be right back.
What can your John Deere compact tractor do? Attachments for any job. Financing that's as easy as...
like getting a library card.
Affordable.
You're going to get this bigger tractor, and it's going to be less money.
Dependable.
Through the rain, through the snow, I'll work through it all.
Comfortable.
And I haven't any idea how we survive without it.
Experience United and build a tractor package customized for you.
Let Hellman's Bakery put a smile on your face with their tasty offerings of breads, baked beans, lasagna, tuche and turkey pies, fruit and cream pies, wedding and specialty cakes, pastries, and more. Hillman's, your hometown bakery, Fairfield.
University of Utah senior Lauren McCluskey.
You have a powerful institution.
A lot of troubling information was never public until now.
The stunning investigation.
Could Lauren's life have been saved?
2020, tonight on ABC.
Hello, Eastern Maine. Watch You Bet Your Life weekdays at 10 a.m. here on ABC 7.
You just never know what you're going to stumble across.
A couple from Aroostook County is putting the Pine Tree Trail back on the state map.
Looking at the potential of what it can do to help all these communities that are struggling, there was really only one answer, and that was to revive it.
We'll have the story of Maine's Forgotten Trail Monday on ABC 7 News at 6.
Acadia National Park is temporarily closing the carriage roads during spring thaw. Starting yesterday, the carriage roads will be closed to protect them during mud season. Warmer weather and wet conditions soften the roads and make them susceptible to damage. Walking, bicycling, and riding horses under those conditions can cause ruts and potholes that channel water and make erosion worse. The National Park Service will reopen the carriage roads once the gravel surface dries out and becomes firm enough to prevent damage. In the meantime, visitors can explore hiking trails and the Park Loop Road, which remains closed to motor vehicle traffic until April 15th. With inflation continuing to push prices higher, food is not always a guarantee for many. That's why Husson University has teamed up with the Good Shepherd Food Bank and United Way to provide a pop-up pantry on the Bangor campus. Our Jody Hersey stopped by and has more.
I personally know from an educator standpoint that if my students are fed well and are supported holistically, they are learning better in that environment.
College students are no different than anyone else when it comes to having to stretch every penny.
It's not just students that live on campus. We're talking commuter students. We're talking about students that do live on campus and looking for ways to stretch their dining dollars further.
Husson University's student government conducted a survey and discovered many who attend classes are struggling with basic needs, from personal hygiene products to peanut butter or pasta.
We try to make sure that there's well-rounded diet, so we do get fresh produce as well as canned vegetables, fruits, starches, grains, and then also we have the ability to provide some fresh proteins as well.
On Thursday, students and staff packaged 60 food pantry boxes inside the Newman Gym for those in need. All the items supplied were either donated or funded by the Good Shepherd Food Bank, United Way, or on-campus organizations as well as alumni and staff. The owner of Catalyst for Changewear, a Husson alum himself, created a Kid from Husson t-shirt, where all the proceeds raised supported the Food Insecurity and Emergency Fund.
The campaign raised over $500 to kind of be that starting pot for some of these pop-ups.
Second-year student Jessica Saposnik says being part of the pop-up pantry at Husson is a great way to give back to her school and her community.
It feels great to be involved, I gotta say. I did switch around my schedule so that I could be here to help out because this is an important thing for college students especially.
In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Dirigo Search and Rescue has announced that they are disbanding and will close at the end of November. The professionally trained search team, made up of volunteers of all ages, has been out helping in search and rescue operations around the state for the last 55 years. For decades, they would get the call from state police and the Maine Warden Service to help out on ground tracks for people in need. According to Dave Martin, president and founding member of the team, he says the pandemic hurt their numbers and it's been trying hard to recover.
We've had a pretty good run in 55 years, and we've had a lot of community support that we've really appreciated, and we're working on what to do with all our assets.
Martin says that some of the members may retire and others who remain in the area may be picked up by other teams within the Maine Association for Search and Rescue. He says the team has been called to help find at least 500 people over the years. They also assisted during the Kenduskeag Stream Race and Machias River Race. All right, the time is now 6:16. After the break, there's good news for Maine's moose population, as new data appears to show better resistance to tick-borne illnesses among the animals. We'll have this and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
At Husson University, our primary goal is to help our students get ahead through academic programs with hands-on experience, by investing in specialized learning spaces with leading-edge technology, on-campus career fairs, and career guidance for life. Husson is how our students get ahead and launch successful careers, and we're with them every step of the way.
I really enjoy helping people and watching them grow. I joined Sweetser over 10 years ago as an independent affiliate and have helped countless clients reach their goals. Sweetser provides me an opportunity to help my clients without all the headaches like billing and referrals, things related to actually running a private practice. They take the administrative stress away so I can carry out my true passion. If you are a licensed social worker or therapist, Sweetser's affiliate network is for you.
Oh, that feels so good. What a sweetheart. I'm so lucky.
These socks are so soft. And her feet don't smell? These would be perfect for hunting season.
Moisture wicking, odor resistant, hypoallergenic, softer than cashmere, and warmer than wool. Get your alpaca socks and more at the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
Hey babe, can I borrow these socks?
A store that has served a town for generations is up for sale once again. Devin Dagnall has the story.
For over a century and a half, the Brooklyn General Store has served the town of its namesake. But according to one of the owners, since acquiring and renovating the store in 2016, he and his other partners have decided it's time to pass on the torch.
So we're looking for a new owner or owners to come in and make their mark on it and keep the kitchen going and continue to serve the community for as long as they possibly can.
According to employee Don Sheehan, one of the reasons the store needs to stay open is because it's the only one for miles around.
It's 20 miles to the store in Blue Hill, So, that's 20 miles, that's a 40-mile trip just to go in and get your milk and bread,
So this store began in 1872, and I'm sure it functioned in a lot of ways then that it does now in providing essentials to the community.
What makes Brooklyn General Store so special is the fact that it's not just another place to get groceries. It's a hub for the entire community.
That's one of my favorite things about this store is even if I don't need anything, I usually stop in just in case. I've got a friend, Ed, who walks his dog Rocket every day. They come in here.
Rocket and I, have a habit of walking 2-3 miles every day. For about 3 years now, we've had a group of friends that get together here to have breakfast and drink coffee.
According to locals, even though the store has been passed from owners to owners and been rebuilt from the ground up, it's always kept the same spirit of community through the generations. Owner Bob Mannheimer says there are a few people already interested in purchasing the store, but if you have any interest, keep your eye out for the listing in the next few days. In Brooklyn, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Good news for Maine's moose population. Far fewer calves are dying from tick-borne diseases. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says a study of about 70 moose calves last year showed an 87% mortality rate. Compare that to this year, where a study of the same size showed less than 3% mortality. Maine's moose biologist Lee Kantar says it's too soon to tell if the dramatic drop indicates any sort of trend.
If all of a sudden you and I have this conversation 2 years from now, and we've had 2 years where survival was good. Now we're starting to build something here where we're like, well, that's good, 2 years in a row. But, we're not there. We don't have a crystal ball to see what next year is going to look like.
Kantar says the state will have a better idea about how ticks are affecting moose after April. He says reproductive rates are also lower than what they should be because of ticks. All right, the time is now 6:20. Let's get a full look at that forecast with meteorologist Evan Biggs.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Already here we are. The last of a gale warning is going to get dropped at about 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. Watching that gale watch further off towards the south that might get expanded in our direction, and some capacity you ought to keep an eye on that to see how it does develop in time. Wave height is still a little active out there right now. Closer toward land, not too bad, around 1 to 3 feet, but this buoy right about in here also encompassing the last little bit of that gale warning there, showing some of the wave heights at around 8 feet out there this morning. But for now on land, we're looking pretty good out there. A little bit of snow outside of the country right now. We'll be watching for increasing clouds today for more activity that's off toward the west. Look at this big mess right about in here, causing showers, thunderstorms, snow, wintry precipitation, you name it. It's going on across parts of the Midwest this morning. This will begin to track off from the west to the east over time. So we'll be watching for a little bit of this to get in our backyard as early as tonight. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be the general idea. There is a snow arriving by about 7, 8 o'clock later on tonight. It will last through at least until tomorrow morning. We'll get a little bit of a break by around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the main event gets going with plenty of rain on the way. Maybe a wintry mix to the north early before everybody switches over to rain with the warmer temperatures that will begin to move in. A few more waves of rain cannot be ruled out before Sunday morning. This all begins to taper off and we begin to improve. But as for snow accumulations, nothing to get too worried about at all. Maybe an inch or two in a few spots before we're all finished up. Lesser opportunities further off towards the east. So nothing to get too worried about, though. We'll mainly switch over to rain and probably see a lot of this melt as we do proceed forward in time. So otherwise, though, let's talk about precipitation here. All this measured in the form of water. So about a half an inch or less of rain and maybe melted down snow before we're all finished up. Maybe some higher opportunities further down toward the south. So we'll have to see how that does develop over time, though. But at least some water on the way here across the region. So your forecast for today, mid-40s. Increasing clouds will be the general idea. West wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 33 degrees. Rain and snow showers on the way. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Lesser amounts to the east. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, here we go. Lower 50s. That wintry mix mainly to the north, though. Everybody will switch over to rain. Areas of dense fog as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast, sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Mostly sunny on Sunday, highs in the upper 30s. Lower 40s by Monday with a mostly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy on Tuesday, highs in the mid-50s.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news, and Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
Sharing a little joy starts with arriving in good spirits. The energizing Mazda CX-5, beautifully designed signature interior. The confidence of available iActive all-wheel drive. Find your new Mazda today at Varney Mazda, 260 Hogan Road in Bangor, and discover what Varney value is all about.
The
Great Home Show Expo will be hosting its premier home show at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor, March 31st through April 2nd. It's a great opportunity to meet local contractors, landscapers, and specialists to get your home improvement project started. Come check out Ace Roofing at the Great Home Expo. You can meet the crew, see our work, or ask us questions. Get the best or complain with the rest. PDQ Door is happy once again to be back at the Great Home Expo, owned locally and servicing Maine homeowners for 29 years.
Hi, this is Jason.
And this is Jessica from Tossie's Checkout,
A family-owned business located in Glenburn.
inviting you to come experience that welcoming hometown feeling when you're visiting our neck of the woods.
You can always expect tasty treats,
Pizza,
spirits,
familiar faces.
and quality gasoline.
With summer approaching and Pushaw Lake nearby,
We look forward to seeing your smiling faces.
Come check us out.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Donald Trump is making history as the first former president ever indicted with criminal charges, U.S. president, that is. While they remain sealed at this point, sources familiar with the case say Trump could be facing more than 24 counts related to business fraud. Trump was investigated for allegedly falsifying business documents relating to a 2016 hush money payment allegedly made on his behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump maintains his innocence, calling the case a politically motivated witch hunt. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez reports.
He's ready to fight.
Donald Trump is now the first former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges after a Manhattan grand jury investigating an alleged hush money payment made on Trump's behalf to adult film star Stormy Daniels indicted him Thursday. Trump calling the decision, quote, an attack on our country, the likes of which has never been seen before.
The rule of law in the United States of America died.
Trump's former Vice President Mike Pence says the indictment is an outrage.
When you have an attorney general in New York and a Manhattan DA that targeted one particular American in their campaigns, I think that offends the notion of the overwhelming majority of the American people who believe in fairness.
Some Trump supporters in Florida agree, protesting the grand jury's decision Thursday night. But many Democrats say no one is above the law, including a former president. Congressman Eric Swalwell of California believes this is an opportunity to prove how the justice system is alive and well, tweeting in part, quote, Donald Trump deserves every protection provided to him by the Constitution. As that unfolds, let us neither celebrate nor destroy. Justice benefits us all. Meanwhile, Trump swears the indictment will not stop his ongoing 2024 presidential campaign. According to Trump's legal team, he's expected to turn himself in sometime next week. When he appears in a Manhattan court for arraignment, he'll be fingerprinted and photographed for a mugshot.
There's significant new tension between the United States and Russia over the arrest of an American journalist. A reporter for the Wall Street Journal has been arrested in Russia on charges of espionage. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has the latest from London.
Charged with spying on Russia, 31-year-old American reporter for the Wall Street Journal, Evan Gershkovich. The FSB intelligence agency, the successor of the old KGB, alleges Gershkovich was acting on instructions from the American side to collect information about the activities of one of the enterprises of the Russian military-industrial complex. That constitutes a state secret.
The only thing I can say is, as far as we know, he was caught red-handed.
The Journal shot back. The Wall Street Journal vehemently denies the allegations from the FSB and seeks the immediate release of our trusted and dedicated reporter, Evan Gershkovich. We stand in solidarity with Evan and his family. Gershkovich was reportedly arrested Wednesday in the Russian city of Yekaterinburg, 900 miles east of Moscow, where he was working on another story.
Evan is definitely not an enemy of Russia.
He was brought back to the Russian capital, formally charged at a closed hearing. He pled not guilty and was taken away to pretrial detention. This increases already high tensions between the U.S. and Russia as the war in Ukraine continues. Gershkovich is the first American journalist to be arrested in Russia on espionage charges since the Cold War. He faces up to 20 years in jail.
It has a chilling effect on foreign journalists, especially Western journalists.
Still, after the lengthy process to obtain the release of Russian-held WNBA star Brittany Griner, thoughts were already turning to what it would take to get this latest American out of Russian captivity. If you're looking for reasons why the Kremlin might want Evan Gershkovich locked up, look no further than his Tuesday Wall Street Journal article. The headline, "The Russian economy is coming undone." One quote, "There will be no money next year." Another, "The long-term picture is bleak." Definitely not what Vladimir Putin wants to hear or read.
A freight train derailed early Thursday morning in western Minnesota. BNSF Railway says it's on the ground helping to monitor air quality. Fox News correspondent Garrett Tenney has more.
Nearly 24 train cars derailed and caught fire in Minnesota overnight, forcing residents to evacuate their homes. The accident happened around 1 a.m. local time in the small town of Raymond, roughly 100 miles west of Minneapolis. BNSF Railway says several of the cars were carrying ethanol in corn syrup. Firefighters have been working for hours to put out the flames.
And your first thought is that's a big bomb waiting to explode on that. I hope you know that the safeguards that were put in place, the regulations and the things that the railroad does, is to make sure they don't explode.
Police say no one was injured in the accident and residents were allowed to return later Thursday morning. The railway, along with EPA officials, say crews will remain on the ground to ensure the health and safety of the community.
Ethanol will burn off, and we're monitoring the air, and we're monitoring all the conditions around the derailment site.
This derailment happened nearly 2 months after a Norfolk Southern train ran off the tracks in East Palestine, Ohio. On Thursday, Democratic senators from Pennsylvania and Ohio introduced the Railway Accountability Act to help prevent future catastrophes and hold railway companies accountable. At a news conference, BNSF CEO defended the company's operations.
99.99% of all hazardous commodities get to destination without incident. So we are very safe. We are a very effective movement.
The NTSB says it's launching an investigation into the cause of the Minnesota derailment. In Chicago, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
When we return, we'll have all the latest news out of Hollywood. We'll be right back.
Looking to haul a new piece of equipment? Homeowners or commercial, Coops Truck and Equipment has the right trailer for you. Coops is the largest dealer of truck flatbeds and hauler bodies in the state and can replace any old rusty bed or outfit any new truck. Our full service facility can modify all truck and trailers with steel and aluminum fabricators on duty. We are your go-to place for CM truck bodies, H&H trailers, and load trail trailers. For trailers, truck bodies, truck outfitting, and more, it's Coops.
For a better center to serve you, Bangor Tire has moved to Herman. For a bigger selection of trusted brands, Bangor Tire has moved to Herman. And to better service your ride, no matter the size, Bangor Tire has moved to Herman. Master mechanics, free shuttle service, and the fair deals you deserve. Take Littlefield Avenue to Bangor Tire, beside Dysart's in Herman. BangorTire.com.
We're more than just a tire store.
My insurance kept going up and up and up and up.
I was getting a lot of mail about Medicare, getting pretty confused about it.
I could never have navigated through the loopholes.
Somebody said something about Senior Planning Center.
I heard of Senior Planning Center, so we called them.
Senior Planning Center was a lifesaver for us.
I couldn't begin to do it all on my own, but Senior Planning Center did it all.
Gave me all my options and signed me up with what I needed within an hour.
Senior Planning Center helped us so much.
Biggest help I could ever have asked for.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith. Today is Friday, March 31st, 2023, and I'd say it's just so satisfying when we're able to end the month on a Friday. And don't forget, tomorrow is April Fool's Day. You still have time to think of a good prank. Today is National Farm Workers Day. In other news, and I'd say it's more important than ever to support local farms if you can. On that note, with spring being here, a lot of agricultural farms are gearing up by planting their seedlings. I know Levant, the nursery in Levant is opening tomorrow, I believe. That was the last word. We had a story with them last week. But if you want to search for local farms near you in Maine, the University of Maine has a great online resource. Try Googling local farms in Maine. That's what I did yesterday. And look for the Farms in Maine page under UMaine's Undiscovered Maine webpage. There you'll find a map and a list of farms in our state. And these are farms that you can purchase food from, not just seedlings and plants and stuff like that. All right, now for our history portion. On this day in history, in 1736, Bellevue Hospital was founded in a New York City almshouse. It was the first public hospital in the United States, and it's the oldest public hospital in the United States. It is now called a safety net hospital, one that provides health care for individuals regardless of their ability to pay. And I'm currently reading a book about Bellevue. It's written by David Oshinsky, and I highly suggest it. Okay, on this day in 1831, Quebec and Montreal were incorporated, and on this day in 1889, the Eiffel Tower officially opened in Paris. Today is also International Eiffel Tower Day. It's at 300 meters high, and it retained the record for the tallest man-made structure for 41 years after it was built. On this day in 1918, the first daylight savings time went into effect. For birthdays today, we see the birthday of Cesar Chavez, who was an American labor leader and civil rights activist who co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, also why it's National Farm Day. He passed away in 1993. And it's also actor Christopher Walken's birthday, who's 80 years old today and is known for films like Catch Me If You Can and The Deer Hunter. All right, moving on now. Let's check that forecast out to see what types of activities will be best for this weekend.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. All right, let's get into things. The last of a gale warning here will be dropping at around 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. I'm watching that gale watch right there, too. That could get expanded further off towards the north and east, but for now, it's not being expanded just yet. That further down toward the south by Boston is up until about 10 a.m. as we head towards your Sunday. For now, though, we're looking rather quiet out there. The only idea that we'll be seeing today is increasing clouds, as we'll be watching for another system that will begin to move in from the west going toward the east. And we're seeing all the excitement right about in here. This will track off towards the east over time, and this will give us the opportunity for some more rain and snow that will be on the way soon. We have a little bit of snow on the way later on tonight. So increasing clouds today, some snow on the way later on tonight. Could be seeing about an inch or two before we're all finished up there, before it starts to switch over to rain as we head towards your Saturday. Alrighty, as for the wind, nothing too ridiculous now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour today, but it will start to increase, especially as we head towards your Saturday, maybe up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 25 miles per hour in a few spots. So for today, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-40s, now west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 40s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Devin. Country music's biggest party celebrates rock legends, Scott Pilgrim gets another adventure, and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with the latest from Hollywood Nation.
This time we walk straight in the front door.
Harrelson heads to the White House. Scott Pilgrim's adventures continue, and rock legends will be honored in the Hollywood Nation. An all-star tribute is taking place during the CMT Music Awards this weekend. Billy Gibbons, Wynonna Judd, Paul Rogers, Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash, Cody Johnson, and LeAnn Rimes are among the music royalty coming together to honor legendary Southern rock band Lynyrd Skynyrd. The celebration comes weeks after the death of the band's final original founding member, guitarist Gary Rossington, who passed away on March 5th. The fan-voted ceremony airs live on CBS this Sunday.
Hey, what's up?
The cast of the 2010 live-action cult classic Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is reuniting. Michael Cera, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Kieran Culkin, Chris Evans, and Aubrey Plaza are among the originals reprising their roles for the Scott Pilgrim anime series on Netflix. Tom Hiddleston teams up with Apple TV Plus to celebrate Earth Day. The actor narrates upcoming wildlife docuseries Big Beasts. The streamer released the first official trailer to the show that will take viewers on a journey across the world to meet some of nature's massive creatures and the struggles they face due to their size. It premieres April 21st.
They are trying to break us.
Today's First Looks also includes The White House Plumbers, starring Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux. They portray the real-life former CIA and FBI agents whose botched burglary toppled Richard Nixon's presidency. The limited series premieres on HBO May 1st.
Plumbers, we fix leaks.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Still to come here this morning, Ryan Sudol will have the latest with sports. We'll be right back.
The Great Home Show Expo will be hosting its premier home show at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor, March 31st through April 2nd. It's a great opportunity to meet local contractors, landscapers, and specialists to get your home improvement project started. PDQ Door is happy once again to be back at the Great Home Expo, owned locally and servicing Maine homeowners for 29 years. Visit Darlings to see their new service, permanent bed liners offered, their new location in Ellsworth, Darlings undercoating, and more.
The roar of the crowd, the excitement in the stands, the dedication, passion, and teamwork on the court, driven by the love of the game. From the visions that lead us, the feelings that inspire us, to the roads that bring us together, Coastal Auto Parts, 29 locations in Maine, will get you to the moments that matter most. Get what you need to keep you firing on all cylinders when you sign up for Napa Rewards. Coastal Auto Parts is owned and operated by a Maine family that cares.
Did you know that an alpaca item is the most wish-listed gift idea? Stop searching for that perfect gift and start shopping for it at the Blue Alpaca in Belfast. It doesn't matter who's on your gift list, the Blue Alpaca has something for everyone with an incredible selection of alpaca socks, hats, sweaters, even stuffed animals, and more. Shop in-store or online and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. Too much to choose from? Don't worry, the Blue Alpaca also offers gift cards. The Blue Alpaca, feel the difference.
Put a little more cash in your bag. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start out on the turf. Hampden Academy made some history this week as they rolled out varsity boys lacrosse for the first time ever. Tyler Cruz has the story.
It's the best thing in the world. You know, we've been a club team for 2 years and we're finally able to get on the turf.
It's been a long time coming.
I think it finally gives some of us that have been playing our whole lives some recognition. We've been fighting for this in the town meetings and everything.
But for the first time in the school's history, a varsity boys lacrosse team took the field at Hampden Academy for practice this week.
We've been trying to make it a varsity sport. We got the idea my freshman year, 3 years ago, and it's great to have it finally be a sport, varsity sport.
It's just a great feeling, you know, able to grow the sport and introduce so many kids to it, and hopefully they'll fall in love with it like I did.
And 40 Broncos showed up to work.
Everyone's really excited to be here. That's why we have such good numbers compared to any program I've ever been on. And we're taking it one day at a time, and it's going in the right direction.
Great numbers. I mean, as you can see, look, we've got 40 guys here, so a lot of these guys have played for a lot of years, so it was definitely a need in the community.
A lot of other schools don't even have this turnout, so it's great to see that, you know, as a first-year sport, this is like unheard of.
Now, there are some first-timers out there, but a lot of these guys have been putting in the work these past few seasons, either with the Broncos club team.
It was a great experience, got a lot of interest in the program, and, it was great.
Or over in Bangor, where some of them helped the Rams win their first playoff game in history just a year ago.
Now they're bringing that experience in what it takes to get back to that. So these guys are pushing the rest of the team.
Just some veteran experience with this being a JV team the last couple of years. We can share our experiences to all the 40 guys. I think we'll be on the right page.
I've grown up with a lot of those buddies, but it's going to be good to play them this year and show them what we're made of as Hampden students.
But all 40 Broncos are setting out to do one thing this season, and that's show the state of Maine what Hampden lacrosse is all about.
My biggest goal for our team is we can earn some respect. I think a lot of people, all the teams we're playing, just look down on us. I think we're a first-year team, just a JV team last year. Get some wins and earn some respect.
These guys are focused right from the get-go. There was no fooling around. They knew that they want to prove themselves and prove that they belong as a varsity program in the area.
Reporting in Hamden, I'm Tyler Cruz, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thank you so much for that, Tyler. Let's stay on the lacrosse field now. We'll head up the road to Husson, where the Eagles women's lacrosse squad has won 3 of their last 4 games heading into conference play. Husson closed their non-conference slate with a big road win at Emerson College on Tuesday, and they open NAC play this Saturday when they host UMaine Farmington at 4 p.m. The Eagles were picked to finish 5th out of the 7 teams in the NAC, and they say they're out to prove some people wrong, and it's their chemistry and communication that's been leading them so far this season.
I think our team is a lot more connected this year. We have a lot of good new players. We have a lot more people this year, and we just, after every game, we always focus on what we need to work on, and that's been helping us a lot.
I think it's definitely just our team sticking together and bringing each other up on and off the field, whether it's on the bench or in the game. Everybody's just cheering each other on, and we're just always there supporting each other.
The Eagles offensively have been on fire. They've scored just under 15 goals a game their last 5 games. And one of the leaders there is freshman Avery Baker. Baker, who also plays field hockey in the fall, says she wasn't even going to play college lacrosse. But now she's been named the NAC's Rookie of the Week for 3 straight weeks and says it's her team that deserves some of that credit.
I've been scoring quite a bit, but the team really has done good at fast breaks and getting the ball up the field. My first day of practice, I just felt like I was part of the team. They just took me under their wing and just have been supporting me throughout the season, just keeping me at my best.
Okay, now let's hit the rink. A big one at the TD Garden as the Bruins look to clinch the President's Trophy with a win over Columbus on Thursday night. Let's get right to the action. First period, Liam Foodie on the break for the Jackets. He'll find Jack Roslovic in stride right next to the crease. Nice pass and finish. Jackets lead 1-0 after 1. Second period, Bruins on the power play. Pavel Zacha gets it in. Backhander to Tyler Bertuzzi at the doorstep. He sneaks it by. We are tied at 1, and it would stay tied through the third. We go to OT, and just 30 seconds into OT, Hampus Lindholm up ahead to David Pasternak. How about sending him home? Pasternak's 53rd goal of the year as the Bruins win 2-1 in OT. They clinch the President's Trophy and break the all-time team record for single-season wins with 58. Going back to 1970-71 season there. Now let's get to some baseball. Opening day around the MLB on Thursday. Red Sox starting off their 2023 campaign at home against the Orioles. There you see Rafi Devers, the multi-million-dollar man, making his way out onto the field. Top 4. Score tied, not for long. Ramon Urias jumps all over Corey Kluber's fastball over the monster for the 2-run jam. To the 5th, Kluber out. Ryan Brazier in. Adley Rutschman, he gets a hold of this one, slaps it the other way. That brings home 2. It's 8-2 Orioles. Here come the Sox, though. Bottom 8, Christian Arroyo ropes this one over the head of the left field. That's a 2-run double. It's 10-7. 10-8 now in the 9th. Masa Yoshida looks like he's going to hit this one into a game-ending double play, but the throw is errant at first. That scores Alex Verdugo. It's 10-9, and now Adam Duvall is the winning run at the plate, but he swings right through the 0-2 pitch. Sox fight but fall in Game 1. 10-9 is the final. Okay, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ryan Sudol. We'll be back right after the break.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view. Come and enjoy the experience of their all-you-can-eat seafood dinner every Friday night now through April with award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. Simply call to make your reservation or order for takeout. You can also take your taste buds on a journey with their 5-course international menu, Tuesday through Thursday, for just $29.95 per person. The Lucerne Inn. Beautiful dining with a delicious view.
In Maine, it's always truck season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we are celebrating New Ram Truck Month by carrying the complete line of hard-charging new Ram trucks from light to heavy duty. At Thornton Brothers, you'll find the right truck for cargo space and comfort for those long trips on the road. No matter what Maine throws at you, our trucks have you covered. So come on over and test drive any of our award-winning new Ram trucks at Thornton Brothers, 125 Main Street, Lincoln.
At Hood, our love for New England inspired New England Creamery.
We make it with premium Hood milk and cream, then we overload it with the good stuff. Like Green Mountain Mint Chip with a rich fudgy swirl. Maine Sweet Blueberry with real delicious blueberries. And Cape Cod Fudge Shop, packed with fudgy truffles. Hood's New England Creamery, from Hood, for New England. Try all 13 flavors.
Don't trip and fall, warns a new pants recall. Fox Business Network's Lydia Hu has this story and more coming up on Fox Means Business.
Investors were in a buying mood Thursday. The markets closed higher on hopes the bank scare won't get worse, and some economic news that may encourage the Federal Reserve to slow down on future interest rate hikes. One report fueling those hopes is the weaker than expected final reading of the nation's gross domestic product, which is the best measure of our entire economy. It grew at a 2.6% annual rate in the fourth quarter, down from the 3.2% growth in the previous quarter. Fewer homeowners are putting their home on the market this spring. Realtor.com says the number of new listings fell again in March and are now 20% lower from the same month last year. That report coming as mortgage rates tick down slightly this week to 6.32%. And a warning for anyone who recently purchased work clothes at Dick's Sporting Goods. Carhartt is recalling more than 32,000 men's forced relaxed 5-pocket pants sold there. Apparently, an elastic drawstring near the ankle could cause someone to fall. That's business. I'm Lydia Hu.
Now here's meteorologist Evan Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. They work throughout the state of Maine, serving both buyers and sellers with a focus on the greater Bangor area. Already here we are. The last of a gale warning is going to get dropped at about 8 a.m. this morning. Things will begin to improve from there. Watching that gale watch further off towards the south that might get expanded in our direction, and some capacity you ought to keep an eye on that to see how it does develop in time. Wave height is still a little active out there right now. Closer toward land, not too bad, around 1 to 3 feet, but this buoy right about in here also encompassing the last little bit of that gale warning there, showing some of the wave heights at around 8 feet out there this morning. But for now on land, we're looking pretty good out there. A little bit of snow outside of the country right now. We'll be watching for increasing clouds today for more activity that's off toward the west. Look at this big mess right about in here, causing showers, thunderstorms, snow, wintry precipitation, you name it. It's going on across parts of the Midwest this morning. This will begin to track off from the west to the east over time. So we'll be watching for a little bit of this to get in our backyard as early as tonight. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be the general idea. There is a snow arriving by about 7, 8 o'clock later on tonight. It will last through at least until tomorrow morning. We'll get a little bit of a break by around 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the main event gets going with plenty of rain on the way. Maybe a wintry mix to the north early before everybody switches over to rain with the warmer temperatures that will begin to move in. A few more waves of rain cannot be ruled out before Sunday morning. This all begins to taper off and we begin to improve. But as for snow accumulations, nothing to get too worried about at all. Maybe an inch or two in a few spots before we're all finished up. Lesser opportunities further off towards the east. So nothing to get too worried about, though. We'll mainly switch over to rain and probably see a lot of this melt as we do proceed forward in time. So otherwise, though, let's talk about precipitation here. All this measured in the form of water. So about a ½ an inch or less of rain and maybe melted down snow before we're all finished up. Maybe some higher opportunities further down toward the south. So we'll have to see how that does develop over time, though, but at least some water on the way here across the region. So your forecast for today, mid-40s. Increasing clouds will be the general idea. West wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 33 degrees. Rain and snow showers on the way. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Lesser amounts to the east. Southeast wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, here we go. Lower 50s. That wintry mix mainly to the north, though. Everybody will switch over to rain. Areas of dense fog as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast, sponsored by the More True team of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Mostly sunny on Sunday, highs in the upper 30s. Lower 40s by Monday with a mostly cloudy sky. Partly cloudy on Tuesday, highs in the mid 50s.
Every year, tens of thousands of older Mainers are abused or taken advantage of, usually by a trusted family member. Don't sign away your home. Even if promised, you can still live there. Don't hand over your checkbook or credit card. Don't sign legal papers like a loan document or power of attorney without talking to a lawyer first. Protect yourself, your assets, your independence. Free, confidential legal advice is just a phone call away. Call Legal Services for the Elderly.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, depend on the knowledge and experience of Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center will turn your ideas into accurate conceptual drawings, and 3D visualization is available. Your Hammond sales rep will prepare a materials list and cost estimate. And when you buy all of your materials from them, Hammond will refund all of your design fees. Hammond can deliver your order from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner since 1953.
Sharing a little joy starts with arriving in good spirits. The energizing Mazda CX-5, beautifully designed signature interior. The confidence of available iActive all-wheel drive. Find your new Mazda today at Varney Mazda, 260 Hogan Road in Bangor, and discover what Varney value is all about.
Every night is pizza night at Dragonfire Pizza. From wings, salads, and sides to our specialty wood-fired pizzas. You'll find everything you need to satisfy any craving by the slice or by the pie. A little slice of heaven is waiting for you at Dragonfire Pizza, Mill Mall, Ellsworth.
And there's no way she'd stick around if she knew the truth. I'm a criminal.
It's just too dangerous.
Let's rock.
Public libraries are lending so much more than just books these days. The Carver Memorial Library in Searsport is lending out backpacks for all ages with various themes like Maine birding or math. These backpacks are filled with books, DVDs, and games. Library members can loan out the bags for a month at a time. The library even has a seed lending library within the building for those wishing to start a small garden of their own.
We lend all kinds of things, like you mentioned, the backpacks. We've also got musical instruments. We've also got craft kits. We've been doing a lot of take and make type crafts. So we have them for the younger ages, but we also have DIY kits for adults, and we have a spice club.
The Carver Memorial Library is open Monday through Saturday. Good Morning America is next on ABC7. If you missed anything, head to foxbangor.com. I know normally on Fridays we have a community calendar, but that will be just solely online today, possibly in the later shows. We just had a technical difficulty there, but we will continue on at Fox 22 for our second hour of Good Morning Maine. Happy Friday and have a great day.
This isn't your parents' photo booth. Premier Limousine and DJ present the latest in photo booth technology, the Magic Mirror Air Booth. We offer unlimited prints of beautiful 4x6 full-color photos and unlimited photos sent directly to your phone. The new Magic Mirror Air Booth is available for proms, weddings, birthdays, class reunions, and corporate events with one of the largest selection of props available. You can book the Magic Mirror Air Booth and DJ services separately or take advantage of our very popular package deal. Contact us at Premier Limousine and DJ. The Great Home Show Expo will be hosting its premier home show at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor, March 31st through April 2nd. It's a great opportunity to meet local contractors, landscapers, and specialists to get your home improvement project started. Come check out Ace Roofing at the Great Home Expo. You can meet the crew, see our work, or ask us questions. Get the best or complain with the rest. PDQ Door is happy once again to be back at the Great Home Expo, owned locally and servicing Maine homeowners for 29 years.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gas Horse Supply in West